This is episode number 26 of I Love This Album. I always struggle to say something, for God's sakes. All I should have to say is it's episode number whatever, and then I begin speaking. But I always feel like I need to say more, yet I can never think of anything to say. But it's episode 26, and today I'm going to talk about Tesla, the great radio controversy, not the great radio conspiracy. Many times over the years, I was faking it that time, but sometimes I think I missaid it. Is that the way you say it? Maybe I missaid. Sometimes I had in my head the great radio conspiracy, but it is the great radio controversy. This album came out in 1989, and it's one of my very favorite albums of 1989. I was trying to think of what else came out in '89 that I really loved. Faith No More, The Real Thing was probably number one for me of that year. Dangerous Toys, first album, is right up there too. I talked some time ago about Faster Pussycat, Wake Me When It's Over, was '89. Did I mention Testament, Practice What You Preach, was good too. But this one, Tesla, the great radio controversy, it's definitely up there for sure. It's one of my very favorite albums of this. I was gonna say genre or era, but I'm not sure if Tesla, if you can fit them in one of these, if you can pigeonhole them into. I mean, they're not. I guess they were considered. They were in the under the very broad umbrella of what was called hair metal, or I don't know, whatever you call that. But they were very different. They also weren't like really unique, but they just weren't like everybody else. They definitely weren't visually and sonically. They didn't sound or look like Motley Crue, Poison, Rat, Bullet Boys, Faster Pussycat, Guns N' Roses. They weren't like that. But they also weren't. I mean, they obviously weren't like they weren't heavy metal. They weren't Iron Maiden or Judas Priest or thrash metal. But they were also not like just rock like. I don't know, but they did find an audience with the hair metal crowd, I guess, or the hair metal people. So for lack of a better term or lack of a better explanation, we'll call Tesla. I hate to say it, and I know for the 8 people that are watching this, you also hate it, but I'll call Tesla hair metal, and unfairly I'll call them that. And I was never, I talk about my history with these bands, I was never a huge Tesla fan, and I'm still not. I did buy their first album, Mechanical Resonance, that came out in '86, but I was never really get into it that much. I knew, and I loved Modern Day Cowboy, Little Susie, Coming At You Live. I can't even remember anything else from that album right now off the top of my head. If I put it on, and I haven't listened to it for probably decades, I should change that. If I put it on, I'm sure I would be, remember the songs and everything. But that one I just never got into. And then after, I forgot to show it. There is the great radio controversy, and after this came 5-Man Acoustical Jam, which I also loved. One of the great, maybe overlooked live albums ever. And then after that, I never bought anything from Tesla ever again. I'm not sure why. That was maybe around the time that music was changing, and I don't even know what Tesla album. I think it was Bust a Nut, I think, was the next studio album after this. I don't think I even heard a note of music from that album. Another thing that I should change. Live, I only ever saw Tesla live once. That was opening for Poison in Toronto in it must have been the summer of '89, the same year that this came out, I think it was. The Poison's album at that time came out in '88. That was, can't remember what Poison album they were touring behind. The one before Flesh and Blood, with Nothing But a Good Time. God, what was the name of that album? Not Crack a Smile. Can't remember. It was a huge Poison album. But anyway, so I saw Poison and Tesla on that tour. I wouldn't say Tesla blew them away, but personally I liked Tesla much better than Poison that night. And that was all. That's my very brief history with Tesla. They weren't some of these other bands I've talked about how important they are in my life. Tesla, not that important, although I do love this album. And I was supposed to see them again last year, which would have been the first time in 31 years. They were supposed to play in Mexico City with Alice Cooper, opening for Alice Cooper, and that was going to be in October last year. Got canceled for some reason. I'm not sure what happened. A lot of concerts got canceled last year. I wonder why. So very brief history with Tesla. Not much to say about them in terms of the history, but this album, and I'll go through it track by track as I do. I should say another thing about Tesla. I mean, if you're watching this, you know this, and if you don't know this, you're probably not watching it. So I don't know who I'm talking to. A five-man band, 2 guitarists, obviously. Great guitarists. I think both these guys, Tommy Sciacca and Frank Hannon. Is it Sciacca? I think that's how you say his name. Maybe I wouldn't say overrated or underrated, but maybe overlooked. Nobody ever really, with these kind of bands, nobody really talked about them, I don't think, too much as musicians. But I really liked, I listened to this album the other day just to, to remind myself. And I thought, man, these guys are really, really good. A lot of great solos on this album, just great guitar work in general on the Great Radio Controversy. So I'll go through this now, track by track. First one is Hang Tough. Took a shot to the chin. Looks like sometimes you just can't win. Took a shot to... Sometimes you just can't win in this do or die situation. That, I talked about this when I did Jane's Addiction, Nothing Shocking album couple of months ago, I guess it was. And when I first heard Mountain Song by Jane's Addiction, I thought it was Hang Tough. The bass is almost identical. Although Mountain Song came out first, if I'm getting the timeline right, I heard Tesla first, and I heard Hang Tough first with the opening bass line, and then I heard Mountain Song by Jane's Addiction. I think it was at a concert somewhere in '89. I thought it was Tesla Hang Tough, and it turned out that it was Jane's Addiction. But Hang Tough, very good song. All of these songs are. Hang tough. When the going gets rough, hang tough. And Tesla lyrics were not about, they were going back to what I said about, they don't fit in a certain category. They sang about girls a little bit in relationships and partying a little bit, but still not, they weren't to the extent of Poison, Motley Crue. Lady Luck, took a walk. Lady Luck took a walk. She walked right out on me. Hard as it seemed, but not as hard to believe. Hard as it seems. I guess I'm on a losing streak. I like that one too. Heaven's Trail, No Way Out. That's a great song. I think that was the first single from this album. And I don't remember a video from it, although I'm sure there was one. It starts with a kind of the guitar intro, and then I'm on a slick trip, I'm always ready to kick ass. Up on the stage, I'm in a rage, yes, I'm having the time of my life. And until some local 2-bit floozy with a Louis Lestrange, ain't good for nothing, trouble, they're just two fools living up to their name. And now it's starting to rain on my parade. Something else about, I love that song. That's my favorite so far. I'm not sure if it's my favorite on this album, but of the first 3, Heaven's Trail is my favorite. Something else about this album that I hated, I've mentioned this before, I hated when albums didn't have lyrics. And this did not have lyrics. I had the record of this. People now, they call it vinyl, before I bought the CD. And no lyrics. Although I know this album stone cold. Musically and lyrically, I really know this album well. I listened to this album a ton. For sure, one of my most listened to albums of 1989. But no lyrics. Kind of, like some good liner notes and a little story about why it's called the Great Radio Controversy. But no lyrics. Some credits of the songs. I liked back then. I don't pay as much attention to this now. But you can see they credited the guitar solos to each guitarist. They said who played the lead. So for example, on No Way Out, the acoustic guitar was Tommy Sciacca. Lead and slide guitars, It was Frank Hannon, so I like that, but it sucked when there were no lyrics. So Heaven's Trail, No Way Out. My favorite so far. What was next? Be a Man. I Know What It Takes to Be a Man. That was a song lyrically that I think could have easily been like a working class song. John Mellencamp or Bruce Springsteen, something like that. I know what it takes to be a man. It don't take a whole lot of money or diamond rings on your hand. No, I know what it takes to be a man. What comes after that? Do well by the ones you love and always give a helping hand. So very kind of blue collar, but good song, excellent song. Lazy Days, Crazy Nights. That could be my favorite. That's a very slow, kind of a groove song. Tesla did last year when every band was doing these home sessions or quarantine sessions or Zoom sessions, whatever you call them. Tesla did a version of Lazy Days, Crazy Nights. That was the first. I really lost track of Tesla over the years, and that was the first thing that they had done in probably decades that I not even that I had interest in, but that I even knew about. And I came across it somehow, and oh man, what a great version that was. I guess Tesla is still a really good band. Tommy Skiach, I think, is the only guy that's gone. I think it's still 4 of the 5 original guys, but they did a version of Lazy Days and Crazy Nights, and I couldn't believe Jeff Keith sounds great. I would have guessed he had the kind of voice I thought maybe wouldn't hold up after all these years, but when I heard them do Lazy Days, Crazy Nights in the quarantine, Zoom, at home, coronavirus sessions, whatever, fantastic. I wish Tesla had done more of those. I'm feeling so much better, but not quite feeling fine. Now I got to get my shit together. A little bit closer to the line, but I love those Lazy Days and Crazy Nights. It's my way, it's my life. I love those Lazy Days and Crazy Nights. I'm feeling, what comes after that? Needless for you to worry, no use in losing sleep. And I really do appreciate all of your concern for me, but I love those Lazy Days and Crazy Nights. Excellent song. Maybe that could be a favorite so far. Did It for the Money. That's a little bit of a... Another had... was that the one that had like a slide guitar intro? No, it wasn't. I can't remember. That was, I guess, like a hooker song, something like that. She did it for the money. Did it for the money. And then I guess a guy robs the hooker. And then a young man says, put your hands in the air, give me what I want, give me what I need. Don't you see all I want is your money. Yesterday Is Gone. This was the last song on the record, and then he had to turn it over and play the other side. This is a fast song. This was by far the most up-tempo fast song on the album. And all these bands, the bands that I liked back then and this style of music, they're faster or more upbeat or, I don't like to say heavier because Tesla's not a heavy band. But these type of songs were usually my least favorite. And Yesterday Is Gone, it's not, I don't know if it's my least favorite, but it's fine. Yesterday Is Gone, Why Did You Go? No, I like that song. Yesterday Is Gone, Why Did You Go? Where Did We Go Wrong? Was it something that I said that made you walk away? Yesterday Is Gone, and then it's a very fast song. So you flip the record over if that's what you were listening to in 1989, like I was. And the next song on side 2, or the B side, was Making Magic. At the time, that was my favorite song. I used to listen to that song more than any of the other ones. I'm not sure if it still is my favorite song, but it's up there for sure. Now, I don't want to waste your time. I only want to satisfy. So wind me up and watch me go. I'm getting crazy as the night unfolds. Gimme what I want. Gimme what I want. Keep it up now. Don't stop. And I will do the same for you. I'm going to take you over the top. Something like that. Excellent song. Making Magic. The Way It Is next. A little bit of a ballady song. It's not full out ballad, but it is kind of a very nice song. I love that song too. I generally had no problems with a lot of these ballads. I think a lot of people, especially the the macho alpha guys maybe didn't like the songs, the ballads that some of these bands were doing. They maybe thought they were for girls, but most of these songs I really like. Some of them were kind of cheesy, but I like them. And The Way It Is not quite a ballad. It is a nice, I guess, not quite a love song, but a nice song. It doesn't matter who gets the best of who can hurt who the most. It never was meant for us to be that way. It's the way it is, the way it goes, happening day after day. Excellent song, The Way It Is. Next was Flight to Nowhere. Well, maybe that was the first single. Was it either Heaven's Trail or... No, maybe Flight to Nowhere wasn't even a single. I'm not even sure. Going down, I'm on a flight to nowhere. Going down, going nowhere fast. Going down, I'm on a flight to nowhere. That's a good song too. Love song. Now, I just talked about The Way It Is. Love song is a flat-out love song. And love will find a way. They say that over and over in the song. I would even say that could be possibly of the ones that were hits. There was Heaven by Warrant, Every Rose Has a Thorn by Poison. What were the other big ballads? I'm not sure if I would count Home Sweet Home in that. That was a big thing for bands to have ballads then. Power ballads, they call it. Love song might be my favorite. That's a great song. I love that song. One of my favorites for sure on the album. And really, really nice acoustic guitar intro. That's the only one I remember them having a video for. I think they did 2 or 3 videos. One, as I said, I think for Heaven's Trail on the way out. The only one that I can still visualize in my head was Love Song. Excellent. I mean, it was a love song, but in my mind, it was not sappy or overly lovey-dovey, something like that. I don't know what else to say. That's an excellent song, love song. And I think, I guess it was a relative hit. It was never even close to the other ones I mentioned. More Than Words by Extreme. That wasn't really a power ballad. To me, Love Song should have been as big a song as More Than Words by Extreme. Excellent. Next, 2 more. Paradise. That's a cool song. That's got lots of piano in it. That to me sounds like it was not a single. It wasn't a radio song, but I do listen to this album fairly often, and I always hear it as that should be like a classic rock song. That should be like a staple on the radio. It just has that feeling of just a big, grand, classic rock song. Like I'm not saying it sounds like Led Zeppelin or Pink Floyd, but to me it's in that same family. Especially at the last towards the end where it gets faster. Now I'm lost without you. Can't live with it. I'm lost without you. Can't live without you. It gets faster and the piano gets going. That's a huge hit. Not quite my favorite on the album, but I do like that one a lot. And then the last song is Party's Over. Turn out the lights. Lights out. The party's over. This time it's the last time. Good way to end the album, I guess. The party's over. It's like the album's over. I don't know if that was intentional. That was always the way that I took it. And that's it. So let me go back and say it's hard to choose a favorite on this album. Usually there's one. As much as I love all of these albums I talk about, there's usually one really standout track. It could be Heaven's Trail, Lazy Days, Crazy Nights, Making Magic, The Way It Is, Love Song. One of those I would say is my favorite. Does it really matter what my favorite is? But yeah, so there it is. So I lost my opportunity to bring Tesla back into my life. The good thing for me as I do these talk about these albums, I've mentioned in some of them that it gives me the opportunity to it kind of inspires me or motivates me to go back and listen to them and kind of get back into some stuff that I hadn't heard for a while, or discover some stuff that I'd never really gotten into before. And I think this one, talking about Tesla and listening to Tesla, the great radio controversy the other day, I'll have to go back and maybe give them another chance. So again, not a big Tesla fan, but I do love this album.